Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. There's a ton of stuff to go over. Let's just jump right into it. So first of all, it's an interesting prospect about what's happening as far as the world, digital asset market, traditional markets, and everything in between. And the question you have to ask yourself is, because yesterday we had a plethora of good news, and I actually put this out and asked the question, why are we not above 100K? We had Canada and Mexico suspending the tariffs, essentially working with the United States, back at it again, friends forever, right? Executive order for a U.S. sovereign wealth fund, a press conference from the AI and digital asset czar David Sachs on the United States and its plan for digital assets. Plus, Eric Trump tweeted on ETH, and we're still less than 100K. This was yesterday, 98,787. And actually today, I don't even know, I'm going to guess we're hovering around that as well. 99,329. It's amazing to me where we're actually at right now. So what is actually happening in the background, and why are we still less than 100K? And of course, we have to ask the question, did Eric Trump just pump and dump on us, essentially, with what's going on with Ethereum? So the first things first, let's go over the good news. I think most of you know about this if you're keeping abreast of the situation on X or different outlets. These are the things that are happening, so let's just catch you up. First of all, Mexican president came out and said that, yes, she and the country itself are going to support America and try to secure the borders for the dangerous fentanyl trading. Justin Trudeau said the exact same thing. He wants to reinforce the border with new choppers, technology personnel, enhance coordination with our American partners, and also increase resources out of the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. Now, a lot of people have said that, this person's weak or that person's weak for doing that. Look, to me, I'm just happy everybody's on board and we're getting along. So whatever you think about Justin Trudeau or the Mexican president, it's really irrelevant because they're working in their best interests for their citizens. And I got to tell you, that's actually good for everybody. So we had that. Then David Sachs came out and said, look, today at 2:30 Eastern time, which, it's like in 3.5 hours or so, there's going to be a press conference, and it's going to deal with digital assets and Americans' position as the market leader. And you can see David Sachs, who's a big believer in digital assets, Bitcoin being one of them, also a huge investor into Solana, which is why he has that very, very snappy pocket square in the left-hand side there of Solana. I'm just kidding. That's actually just a doctored picture. So that'll come out today in about 3.5 hours. Don't know what he's going to say, but I would assume it is somewhat positive news that they're making a press conference about it. So that's also good, yet still less than 100K. And then also this came out of nowhere. It looks like President Trump just signed an executive order calling for a sovereign wealth fund. It's not so much about that he signed this as an executive order. The question you have to ask yourself is, who the heck are these people around him? And also, what is a sovereign wealth fund? And for those of you who don't know who these people are, a sovereign wealth fund is, let's just go over that real quick. So first of all, the gentleman on to his right is the Howard Lutnick. And he's the former CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, billionaire, also pro-Bitcoin. And he is coming in as the Commerce Secretary. And he is a big believer in cryptos and digital assets and also owns quite a bit of it. Also, a gentleman here on the Trump's, actually it would be Trump's right, our left. That would be Bessent. Scott Bessent was confirmed as Treasury Secretary, also a believer in crypto and digital assets. So what is a sovereign wealth fund? What does this all do? Well, this is from Statista. This is as of August 2023. I'm sure there's some other updated data as far as what's going on. But we can just see that a sovereign wealth fund is a state-owned investment fund that invests globally in assets such as stocks, bonds, real estates, or in alternative investments, keyword, such as private equity fund or hedge funds, potentially crypto and digital assets moving forward now. And there's been a lot of talk about UAB and different people investing into it, but we can just see that the countries that have done it have done quite big. Norway Government Pension Fund, that's 1,375 billion. That's in billions. That means that it's 1.3, almost $1.4 trillion. China Investment Corporation, 1.4. safe investment company. I mean, you can read this. I don't need to read this for you. What this means is that there's another sinkhole for Bitcoin digital assets to go down. And if the United States wants to come in here and provide this sovereign wealth fund, then that doesn't mean that they're going to buy up all the Bitcoin and all the Ethereum and all your Solana and all your Dogecoin. It's not happening. But it is just one more piece of the puzzle. And of course, the people that are surrounding Besant, Lutnick, and then of course we had Sachs. Where do you think this is going? So I can't tell you where it is, but I've got a reasonable idea of just what they could potentially do and bring them in. But the next question you might ask is, all right, well, didn't America do that before? Sovereign wealth fund? No. So why doesn't America do this, and why are they doing it now? Well, it's an executive order from the president. Maybe he figures out that, hey, we've got too much of a deficit. We need to actually shore some things up. Here's 3 reasons. There's no national resource-based windfall. Sovereign wealth funds are funded by surplus revenues from natural resources like oil. Saudi Arabia is a big picture of this, also in Norway. Didn't know that, actually. U.S. has significant natural resources. It has never nationalized them for this purpose. There's a reason why Donald Trump was talking about drill, baby, drill, and this is probably one of the reasons. We have massive natural resources of gas and oil, especially in Alaska. So I expect this to actually be done and move forward, and we'll nationalize that and give that to our sovereign wealth fund. Preference for private investment. This relies on private markets for capital allocation. We're big on this in America. So we would just say, no, let the markets be the markets, and we'll just do this and fund this another way, taxes, and go from there. And this is the big one, deficit spending versus surplus. Unlike countries that use budget surpluses to fund their sovereign wealth funds, the U.S. has typically run fiscal deficits. We love going in debt. If you take a look at the debt clock right now, it's $34 trillion and rising. So that's probably the reason why we didn't do much of the sovereign wealth fund. So we'll see how it all goes out. And we'll see if the revenues can actually come in and those tariffs actually work. So that takes care of the sovereign wealth fund. Now let's get to the business. Eric Trump, son of Donald Trump, oversees lots of his businesses. And he came out and said like this, in my opinion, it's a great time to add ETH. And I saw this, and my friend Bobby texted me and said, hey, this might be a good idea to buy some Ethereum. And I was like, maybe it is. And that was last night around 6:23 p.m. Then all of a sudden, there was a lot of movement in the Trump-linked DeFi project address. And what this actually is World Liberty Fi. And all of a sudden, they started to move these tokens. So here's what happened. They are saying that they didn't spend anything. Donald Trump linked DeFi protocol World Liberty Financial transferred more than $250 million in Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin and other Ethereum-based assets from its multi-sig wallet on Monday. So Eric Trump comes in, good time to buy some ETH. Hey, we're going to transfer this over to Coinbase Prime. And hey, we're going to sell like crazy. Allegedly. This is from World Liberty. We're making routine movements of our crypto holdings as part of regular treasury management and payment of fees and expenses, and to address working capital requirements. And here's, of course, is the tweet or the post off of X, the exact same thing. Yes, that's true. So is that true? Well, there's a great website, and it's called Arkham Intelligence. And I linked this in the description so you can track everything that is going on with Arkham and World Liberty Fi. And what's great about this, I don't know if you can, let me see if I can expand this or zoom in a little bit. See this right here? So this is the holdings on the very upper left-hand corner. The holdings on January 28th was almost $400 million. Almost $500 million, but whatever. Holdings on today is 33 million. That's the net change. So where'd it go, Rob? It's a great question. So if we come over here, and you can do this too. That's why we like to do our research. See where it says top counterparties? If you click on that, it'll tell you where it went. So one place it went to is Cow Protocol. What the heck is Cow Protocol? I had no idea. I looked it up and it is a swap service. So apparently they transferred over to Cow Protocol. Transactions, 88 of those. Chains, all Ethereum. That's probably why he wanted us to buy it. Then Coinbase Prime Deposit, 123 million. Gnos, Safe Proxy, 49 million. Coinbase, Prime, and Prime. And that's where it went to. Now, did he sell all those things? Is that what happened? Kind of hard to say right now. I'm sure we could dig deep into it, but on-chain analysis, you can make a lot of different assumptions and you can go any way that you want to. So is this true? I don't know. But I will say this. In the last 24 hours, Ethereum didn't buckle, didn't go down. And actually, in the last 24 hours, it's up 3.5%. Let's take a look at that real quick. So let's see. This was at 3:30, 5. What time did he announce that? Around 6:30? Look at that. And everybody fell for it. And they bought like crazy all the way up to here. Oh, yeah, look at that. And then, of course, people are like, hey, wait a second. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then it goes down here, 26.77, and so on and so forth. So if that was you, it is up a little bit right now, but it's a good lesson to learn, right? Just because the president's son says it's a good time to buy Ethereum doesn't necessarily mean it's a good time to buy Ethereum. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Maybe I'm way off base for what I'm talking about here, but that's just how I actually see things. So lastly, the question we have to ask ourselves is, well, with all the good news, besides the Ethereum stuff, why the heck isn't Bitcoin at 103, 104, 108, 110K? Well, you can take your pick. I mean, Mexico and Canada are playing ball with us, but now China is going to come in and talk about tariffs. And before we go on, let me just say this. We're always looking for a narrative. And I don't know if this is actually the truth or this is just manipulation and whales in the background going, these tariffs sound like a pretty good time to dump on people. Or maybe I'll do shorts or maybe I'll do longs. I'll go leverage plays. They look for narratives for people to take a look at and grasp onto and go, aha, gotcha, that's what it is. Sometimes that's not even the case, but this is what we have, so this is the information. Tariffs are coming, tariffs from China. Here's what it looks like. So China announced 15% tariff on coal, liquefied gas, and additional 10% on crude oil, agricultural machinery, and certain vehicles. Again, they can do that, and of course, we do buy, but the thing we have to remember is that America has its own natural resources, so let's start to drill. And that's what's going on. Also, macro data come out, and the job openings or JOLTS came in at 7.6 million, which fell short of the forecasted 8.010 million as far as job openings. This marked a decline from the previous month of 8.156 million. Drop in the actual number of job openings indicates a slowdown in the job market, which could potentially affect the US dollar's strength. Lower than expected JOLTS job openings figure could be seen as bearish for the USD. And of course, you have to ask yourself, well, is it just because there's not that many jobs out there or people just can't find jobs? Or maybe that there's just a reduction in the labor force itself and the companies that are actually advertising just can't find people, so they just stop doing it. It all depends. And we'll all just find out as the market plays out. Or it could be something like as the Bank of Japan, like Ben talks about here. And me and Ben on the same wavelength here. So I love how every time, right after the Bank of Japan raises rates, people are me like, see nothing happen. Then 1 to 2 weeks later, the market dumps and everyone assigns on a narrative. This time it was tariffs. Again, I don't know what it is. It just seems like we're always on the hunt for that narrative to calm our fears and to calm us down so we can be rational and we can be investors and not go crazy. But here's really what it all comes down to is this. Just calm yourself down. I know it's not easy sometimes, but if these types of swings of 5, 10, 15% freak you the F out, then you are overexposed. And sometimes I think you need to, I can't give you financial advice, but I can give you some mental advice, which is this. Sometimes when you do a little bit too much, you get freaked out and you shouldn't be there. You should slow down, take a step back and reevaluate what's the most important thing for you. And that's pretty much it. If you can control your emotions, you can control everything. And that's the big story. And that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to, I see a bunch of questions. We'll go over questions. We'll do that. If you don't, take off. Enjoy the day. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me for 14 minutes. All right, let's get to it. What has it going on? Dr. Payne, Rob has it right to de-risk. It is. So walking on the beach this morning, talking to my wife about this condo that we've just got an offer for. And we were going over the numbers, and it was a condo we bought in 2020 here in Puerto Rico. And we were talking about, I go, you know how well we would have done if we would have put that, because we paid cash for it. How much we would have done if we would have put that into Bitcoin on 2020? Would have been a lot. It would have been like a 9-10x at that point. And then she looked at me and she reminded me, because she's much smarter than myself, and she says, you know, that may be true, but sometimes it's better just to de-risk, or just to not have so much risk, and then you can sleep easy at night. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty true. So we're not going to get it right every time. There's going to be problems. Even Michael Saylor, I mean, he was riding high in 2021. He had to bear the brunt 2022, 2023, and somewhat 2024, but now he's riding high. And that's the same thing with investing. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's great. It's never always up and to the right. We'll go from there. All right. There was a good question. Random dude, is it true that phantom wallet users are getting their wallets drained from using the inbuilt browser on adult streaming sites? Apparently it is. I don't know if you've seen this. This is actually quite funny. So I put this out, as a matter of fact. This is from Dom Lucre, breaker of narratives. And he says, breaking news, crypto wallets are reportedly being wiped out after using their Phantom or Trust Wallet browsers to view porn. There's a reported exploit that is being used to target porn viewers. Avoid your wallet being emptied in seconds by avoiding porn sites on your wallet browser. Now, I'm under the assumption that if you download anything or if you click on anything, then that would lead it to it. Now, just straight browsing, I'm not for sure, but maybe it might be a good idea to curb that enthusiasm you have and just step down. So that is what it is. And again, like I said before, all hot wallets, I don't care what they are and how secure that people say they are essentially, to me, gone. Whatever I have in there is essentially going to be wiped out at some point. Either I download something or I click on something wrong, or I do this or I do that. I'm just like, it's probably gone. That's why I don't keep a lot in the hot wallet. So I'm just begging you to not do that. Just keep things out of your hot wallet, put things into cold storage, and not only just one cold storage device, I need you to put into multiple cold storage devices, because if you put into one damn cold storage device and somebody finds your mnemonic phrases, or they break into your house and they get all your mnemonic phrases, or you're in a fire and your mnemonic phrases was on paper, which is what a lot of them are, and it goes up in smoke, what do? Well, I only had one. I need you to take that into multiple cold storage devices. I need you to split up those paperwork. I need you to put them into bank deposit boxes, or you can put them with your friends. I don't really care if you're not big into banks, but that's just something that I do. And actually, Wes from Smart Money Tracking does the same thing. He's a smart kid. So anyhow, that's my little rant. I'll get off that soapbox now. Curb your enthusiasm. Yeah. Robert Bradley says the Bitcoin cycle is 5 fear, 5 euphoria, 90% just what. And it's true. I mean, if you can, I got to tell you, the people I think that do the best are the ones that aren't, checking down and trying to find every single narrative to make sure. Like when I take a look at these narratives and what's happening for crypto world, I'm like, well, the big things I'm always looking for is this. Was there a double spend? Meaning, was there some kind of security problem where someone was able to actually hack into Bitcoin and double spend and drain accounts, which would essentially negate the entire blockchain? If that's the case, then goodbye the entire market. So far it hasn't happened. Don't think it's going to happen. Was there some other external hack that happened that let everything out into the open, and hackers were able to get into somebody's address, somebody's wallet, and steal everything, and that's going to happen to everybody? Then the whole market goes down. Everything else besides that, even as bad as like FTX, Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi was, and if you were with me at that point, you know what I'm talking about. If you can get through that, you can get through anything. If you can get through a pandemic in 2020, if you can get through the potential of World War III that was supposed to happen when Russia invaded Ukraine, if you can get through all these rate hikes and different governmental switches and 4 years of Gary Gensler, I think you're going to be just fine. So we'll go from there. All right. Ed Fox. This weekend was great for gaining an entry or lowering your averages for those that weren't buying in the bear. That's very true. I personally didn't do anything, like I said in yesterday's video, because when I did it was very early. Mexico hadn't come out and said, yeah, we're going to help out. You know, we're going to help secure the border. We're going to negate these tariffs, and we're going to work with America. And then, of course, 6-7 hours later, then Justin Trudeau said the same thing. So when I did the video, I'm like, I'm not doing anything until something big happens. And of course, that switched around. And as the price went up, I'm like, I've already bought as much as I possibly could in the bear market. So I was just, sometimes you just don't do anything. I just went to the beach and took a swim. That was it. Meme. I've been waiting for 10 years, but only been in the market for about 4. Look at me. I'm 17 years old. Well, I mean, this has been a very rough time for me too. Is Bobby your Degen alter ego? How dare you? How dare you? Close. Let's see. Maybe. To be fair, the best time to buy is not as the price is going up. You want to buy in large amounts when the price is tanking, so you don't push price up with your purchases. True, but I got to tell you, my $100 dollar cost average probably isn't moving the market for Bitcoin. Just saying. Alam says, Rob, I am a military veteran too. Can you explain to me, veteran, why anybody in their right mind supports Elizabeth Warren and being crypto? Look, I'm not a big fan of Elizabeth Warren, especially for the different hearings that she was at, and especially because she's anti-crypto. But apparently in Massachusetts, people must love her because she won in a landslide. And I'm not for sure. Maybe it's just how it is, but I don't know. I have no idea what makes her so popular over there. I'm not from Massachusetts, so someone had to explain it to me, man. I don't know. Warren is a criminal and my big pharma. You know, she'll of course refute that, just like Bernie Sanders did, which was pretty funny when he had RFK Jr. told Bernie Sanders, "Hey, you were the largest recipient of big pharma money," and Bernie Sanders was like, "Whoa, no, it was not true. It was 1.5 billion, and it was the individuals that did that. It wasn't the corporations themselves. And I took over $200 million in it." And RFK goes, "So you took 1.5 million. Gotcha. Okay." And keep going. But big pharma is big pharma. They're not going anywhere, unfortunately. I used to work in drug research, as a matter of fact. A lot of money. Let's see. Apparently no one from Massachusetts invests in crypto. I got to tell you, if I was Elizabeth Warren, I'd be feeling kind of bad because it was her anti-crypto stance that kind of crept into the Democratic Party, and they ran on that, and they got decimated in the latest poll, or the latest polls, and for the latest. Well, it wasn't the latest elections, I guess, for Senate and House. I had to think of that for a second. But yeah, if it was me and I was like anti-crypto, and everybody lost mostly on the anti-crypto, not everybody, but it really was a big factor. I wouldn't be feeling too good. Ed says, Jason Appleton, our Crypto Crow had Charles Hoskinson on the show. When we getting Charles? I don't think he's going to come. But I have to check that out. Friend Matt Jason's got him on. That's pretty cool. Maury says drugs never treat the root cause. It's true. It's very true. Can you guys think of one cure that any drug company has come out with? I know Pfizer's been around 100 plus years and they haven't done one single cure. Yet they make a lot of money. They help a lot of people. They help a lot of people for the symptoms, but that's outside the scope of this video. That's for sure. There's no money in healthy. That's true. It's very, very true. There's no money in prevention. That's what it is. Meme says antibiotics. Yeah, I mean, how long ago were those created? Exactly. Let's see. The voting is rigged. Rob, did you buy any Trump entities? I did not. I made sure to get some before they went up. Pretty good. Elections in Massachusetts are rigged, perhaps. Questions for those that never got hacked. What point site are you guys using? That's pretty good. Is it a good time to buy ETH? Well, it's best to buy before the moon, not after. That's true. we'll see. I mean, I still have some, just not as much. And I was going to go over this. There was an article about how Solana had doubled their use of stablecoins, USDC, on that chain, and how everybody was like so excited about it. But if we take a look at DeFi Llama, that doubling is like, I think it's like 5.1 billion, 5.8 billion to 11.2 billion. And everybody's like, that's great. I mean, roughly doubled. But then you take a look at, how much Ethereum and all the chains have done. Like they did the exact same thing, not doubling, but the amount of roughly a $10 billion increase. So I'm like, that's true, but people are still using, I still use USDC on Base, and it's fast and it's cheap and it's super easy. I know people will say, well, is that the future? I think to have Ethereum as the safe part, and if you want to use like Aave or any other things for like loans and such like that, sure. I just know that fortunately or unfortunately, BlackRock is filling its weight behind Ethereum for real world assets. And sometimes the winners get picked before. I don't know. Hey, Panda's here. Just don't be a rookie. Can Eric promote ADA? Maybe. But we'll see. Charles will come for sure. I doubt it. Rob, what's your favorite energy drink? Coffee. Black, nothing in it. The catacombs. Rob, you're going to focus more on USA coins now as far as what you will hold now. I hold most of those. And if you're asking, like, what exactly are those? If you go to CoinGecko and you click on, let's see, highlights, categories, and here where it says made in USA, very original, you can see which ones there are. And why is that? Because people are assuming that Trump is going to wipe out capital gains tax on US-based crypto digital asset companies. Maybe David Sachs is going to talk about that in the press conference today in 3 hours. I don't know. That would be XRP, Solana, USDC, New York, Cardano, Chainlink, SWI. I got to tell you, SWI's looking pretty good. Avalanche, Stellar, Hedera, Litecoin, Polkadot, Uni, Ondo, Near, Aptos. You can see it. Official Trump, of course. Algorand, Render, Filecoin, Stacks, Optimism, Movement. Wow, look at that. So let's just leave it there. I don't think we've got any other questions outside of that. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're good. And that's it for today. So yeah, take a look at those, see what you think. Maybe it's something to look at too. But that is it for today. So look, like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks so much. It's Tuesday. 2 more days. We'll be on Ben's channel for NFA Live. That's it for today. So thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next.